and to the whole world. And that is why we say that the recipient of, and that is why we say that higher education is not a private good, it is a social good. Social good in the sense because the input which is being given to the student is not only enriching and not only bringing benefit to the individual concerned, the benefits of that will go to the society. The benefits of that go to several generations of the society, which is called spillover benefits. Yesterday I mentioned Robbins Commission report. Robbins Commission report did write at a place that the indirect or the spillover benefits of higher education are spread over several generations, and it is very difficult to identify those benefits, and nobody can attempt to measure those benefits. It is so widespread, it is so spillovering to different generations, to different areas, and to different segments of the society and the economy. So this was about teaching, learning, evaluation, and now the third, which is very important and to which the maximum weightage is given, is research, innovation, and extension. Research, innovation, and extension. Research, innovation, and extension. This is an area which is very important for universities as well as for colleges. Universities have greater say in this research, innovation, and extension services. How the benefits of the research can be spread over to the people of the society, to the people of the country. Because universities should not be having researchers for their own advantage or for their own pleasure or for their own benefit. They live there for the benefit of the society. So the research, when we talk of research, the first thing about the facilities for research in the organization. Facilities for research. Facilities for research. And the facilities for research and the larger number of researchers, larger number of teachers engaged in research. Not only one or two persons in the university, but larger number of persons, larger number of teachers. Everybody should be engaged in research. But teaching and research, they go together. Research, one of the advantages of research is that it sharpens the analytical bent of mind, the analytical part of mind. Whatever subject you are reading, if you are pursuing your research, it enables you how to concentrate on a particular subject, how to go deeper on a particular subject, the analytical aspect of the reasoning of the human mind. So those are the advantages which spread over to different segments of knowledge apart from the subject that a person is researching. So research facilities in the university, in the department. If it is social sciences research, then the methodology will be different, some field work will be involved, and if it is lab research, then also the facilities of laboratory for research. And the important thing is, which the universities should be concerned, is about resources, resource mobilization for research. Resources for research. And that is why, where from the money should come for research, we talk of research projects. Previously, there used to be individual researches. Teachers used to embark upon individual researches, and because there was no funding coming out, or very rarely funding was coming out from agencies like UGC or ISIS or CSIR, the research was being conducted largely at the individual level. Now is the time when researches are being funded by several organizations. In the next session, I will be concentrating on the funding of research and funding of higher education and how that system is growing. There I will take up what are the sources where from the resources are flowing for research in university education. Resource mobilization is very important, and that is why there is a concept of submitting proposal to funding agencies and getting some seed grant, and then to have a larger proposal and then to submit it for financing And many of the organizations like the Department of Science and Technology and the Department of Research, the Department MHRD in various programs, UGC in various programs, they are having different types. And also there are private charity organizations. Private charity organizations, they are very important in many foreign countries. In India also some of these organizations are coming up, which are also funding researches in higher education. So finding out resources, resource mobilization for research is important. And then comes the three important things. One is how that research is being shared with the beneficiaries. Research, sharing the benefits of the research, extension of the benefits of the research, extension, research collaboration, and then publication of the research. Three things very important about research. One thing is that we do research, we publish it in a research paper or we publish in a book form and we keep it to ourselves or maximum to the department or maximum to the university. That is limited to one researcher. What is being needed is that the research, there should be extension of the research. The benefits of that research should flow to the society. And there should be collaboration with different institutions, with different departments in that research. So you should be also having the advantage of the specialization of the research departments of other universities. On many recommendations, many committees and commissions have also recommended, you must have read that pooling of research resources. That pooling of research resources is a similar idea when we talk of collaboration. Collaboration of research, collaboration with different institutions about research. And that collaboration gives you another opportunity how you can continue to work in association with other organizations, with the sister organization, which is also, and this collaboration also gives you some intellectual input, some intellectual insight, because we are thinking in our way, maybe the other organization, the other institution, the researcher there, they can give some insight where we may like to revise our research proposal or to have a different methodology for the research. So that will be very beneficial for the researcher in both the organizations, in the organization and also the organization which is collaborating for research with this organization. And then the types of researches which is being carried on and how the benefit of that will go to the society, which is through the publication of the research. When the research is limited to you, as long as it is limited to you, as long as it is known to you only, then you are the beneficiary of that. You are the beneficiary, you have the pleasure, that you have the advantage, you have the satisfaction that you have done this research. The moment you publish it, and you publish it in the form of a book, then the publisher will give you what is called royalty. Royalty, the definition of the royalty is a very grand definition. Royalty is the reward for ownership of knowledge. Royalty is the reward for ownership of knowledge. If you get a check of 5,000 rupees, what is this? It has come from the publisher. What is this? This is a check of royalty. So it is the reward for the ownership of knowledge. As long as the knowledge of that research was limited to you, you did not put into the public domain, nobody else was knowing what you have done, then it was your own property, it was your own thing. And once you put it into the public domain, it has gone into the form of a book, anybody can read and take advantage. Then the society has made a provision that some royalty be given to the author, some royalty be given to the researcher, because the research has now come into the public domain, in the social sector. And anybody can read and take advantage of that. So royalty, and we should spread this mission. The moment you say anybody that royalty is the reward for ownership of knowledge, more confidence will develop. People hardly remind themselves that royalty is the reward for ownership of knowledge. Anybody may get reward for ownership of shares, ownership of a building, rent मिल सकता है उसको, shares का पैसा मिल सकता है. But if you say, I am getting the reward for the ownership of knowledge, so that gives you the pride of being owner of a particular area of knowledge in the form of royalty. So publication is very important. Publication of research, 3 levels. In the form of books, if the research is so voluminous that you can come out with a book and any good publisher has accepted it to publish it in a book form. So that is one form. The second is that you put into research journals, 1 or 2, 3 articles in research journals, which has the reading of that is among the specialized people.
Citation.
Of course, the index and the research value of that.
Yes,
And then the third thing which is also important, to make it known to common people, then you can take out some articles for newspapers and popular magazines, so that people can know what you have written, what you have published, the research journals, because common people are not going to read the research journals. So good researchers across the globe, they have made name in all these 3 forms. And this should be propagated to our researchers also. That researches are published in the form of book, researches are published in the form of research papers, and researches are also published in the form of popular articles, in which in a layman language you can say what research has been done, what research is being going on, and how you are sharing that research for the benefit of the society. So these are the things which are very important with regard to research, innovation and extension at the university level. Then there are, and in the assessment criteria, these have different weightage of the quality of learning, of the quality of education. Then comes infrastructure and learning resources. Infrastructure and learning resources. This is the responsibility of the university to have the infrastructure, physical infrastructure. अब तो सॉफ्टवेयर का भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में शामिल करते हैं, कंप्यूटर भी होना चाहिए और उसके अंदर में सॉफ्टवेयर भी होना है, उसको भी इसके अंदर में शामिल. So the availability of these and then modifying these according to the requirements, according to the needs of the population. And along with the infrastructure, we also, whenever we go to any college or university for the assessment, we look to the space. And previously it was the lateral space, and now many of the universities are having vertical space. वो एक छोटे plot के area में बन जाते हैं, and then they grow upward vertical, and then they move by lift. And many of the universities in the modern world, they are having that type of a structure, which is not expanding literally, which is expanding vertically. Previously, we used to look for large fields of sports. If the university or the college doesn't have very good field, then it was not awarded very good marks. So that is also included. And now we have other things also which are there. For example, is there water harvesting in the college? Is there some green land plantation drive for the college? All these are included in the infrastructure. How the college or the university is maintaining its own building. 2 things for the principal and for the vice chancellor. Construction of new infrastructure is one thing, and maintenance of the old infrastructure is another. Previously, there used to be 2 types of expenditures. One was called planned expenditure, and the other was called non-planned expenditure. You must have heard the categorization of these 2. Planned expenditure was meant for construction of additional assets, a new building structure, new infrastructure. And committed expenditure was classified as non-planned expenditure. That non-planned expenditure was for maintenance, and which was known as committed expenditure. The reason is that you can create a new building, you can construct a new building, may be optional, But maintenance of the existing infrastructure is an obligation, is a duty, primary duty of the institution to maintain the existing infrastructure so that it doesn't decay further. And that is why maintenance expenditure is taken up as committed expenditure. Additional expenditure, and that is why there used to be two types of, still there are two types of grant. One is recurring grant, which is for maintenance every year, and the other is non-recurring grant. We are coming from the government. Non-recurring often for creation of new buildings and new assets. And then comes within the infrastructure the learning resources. Learning resources, most important is library and lab. How the library is maintained. Whenever you go to any organization to assess the facilities for the students, the facilities for teachers, research books, reference books and research books and textbooks. Textbooks are meant for this. So you have multiple copies.
Nowadays we have a digital era.
Digital libraries, yes, digital. How many of the websites, the universities, for example, that InflipNet, the UGC gave much earlier, and those facilities.
He is the director.
You are. So you can brief the entire group about that. And how the digitization of the libraries can help the student, how it can preserve many of the rare books. जिनको पन्ना प्लेट पे पढ़ना is very difficult. If it is digitized, then it can be accessed very easily. So library resource is very important, and library is the source of knowledge. Because of technological revolution, information technology revolution, we are having libraries in our pocket. We are having everything in our pocket. A smartphone, if you have, then you have many things. But still, many of the volumes, many of the documents which have not been digitized, which are not available through the internet mode, we have to go to the library and sit there and read there. And this is also important because then it takes time out of the students or the researchers' schedule, and then they go and sit in the library and devote their time for reading, for their course purposes, for reading for their research purposes, and also for the project which they are conducting in the university or in that college. Then along with the infrastructure comes the students' facilities. Students' support system and students' progression. Student support system. For example, freeship, scholarship, book aid, transport facility. What types of facilities are given to the student to facilitate the education of the student? There is a triangle in higher education. I think I mentioned yesterday the issue of quality, the issue of quantity, enrollment, access, and the issue of equality. So that equality is the student support system. To what extent we can help the student, and particularly students coming from the weaker sections of the society, students coming from the deprived sections of the society, students who are the first generation learner. We do not expect any reading material in their homes.
So merit scholarship.
Merit scholarship, various types of merit scholarship, research scholarship, book aid, freeship, half freeship and full freeship, different types of student support system, and also the transport facility. If students are coming from far off areas, then the subsidized transport facility to the far off villages where from the students are coming, so that can increase the access of good quality higher education to students. Student support, these are the things which were not looked after in a big way in earlier systems, but now when we think of quality in higher education, these have assumed great proportion. That what is the mechanism of the student support system, and then the progression of the student. once the student joins the university, once the student joins the college, then how the student progresses semester after semester, class after class, and after passing the final class of the college or the university, then where the student goes for further studies, a record of that. जिसको कहते हैं ना ड्रॉप आउट रेट from first semester to second semester, drop out rate, from second semester to third semester, from third to, if you admit 150 students, maybe in the final semester, fourth semester, there are only 110 students. So why these students have dropped out, a record of that, reasons of that, a study of that, why these students have dropped, where have they gone, why did they take admission and now they have left. All these things will help design a better system of higher education when we study the progression of the students. And where the dropout rate is larger, it is in the science program courses or art science program courses or technical program courses, where the student join the first semester in large number, 100% enrollment. Then in the second semester is down by 10%, in the third semester down by 15%. So where the students are dropping out and what are the reasons of the drop? For instance, in primary education, in the secondary education, this dropout rate is always there. In class 1, if 100 students are admitted, then about 60 complete class 5. And when 100 students are admitted in class 6, then again about 60 complete class 8. So that goes on reducing, and that is why this enrollment ratio goes on reducing, and we have a conical type of a structure of the education system. Largest enrollment at the lower levels of education, and as we move, as we progress upward, the enrollment ratio it declines. So keeping a watch, keeping a record on the progression of the student and how they are moving from one class, from one semester to another semester. Then comes governance, management, and administration. Governance, management, and administration of the educational institution. Governance management is important in the sense that it is the overall situation of the college. That it is a very well managed college, very well governed college. Many of the colleges are known by the name. So how the college is governed, and yesterday I mentioned you and I told you that to be very brief, when we talk of governance, we are reminded of what facilities we create. Ability to provide facilities. What facilities have been provided by the top management of the university, of the college, so that the college can function efficiently. Management utilizing the resources, whatever resources are at the disposal of the college or the university, utilization of those resources. Money is one thing, and using money in a better manner is another thing. And that is why we say that money is maybe a necessary condition of development of higher education, but it is not the sufficient condition of the development of higher education. You can appoint a teacher, give salary to a teacher, but still you cannot ensure good education, good teaching by that teacher. So money is important, and utilization of money is again important, and to keep a watch. Not only look at the input financing, but also output related financing. What is the result which is coming out of that money? So the governance, the financial management, and the administration of the institution, how the institution is running on the basis of the rules and regulations which have been provided by the government and which have been provided by the higher authorities. Because the vice chancellor or the director or the principal, there are higher authorities, and there are also lower authorities. For instance, the deans, the heads, the teachers, the powers of the vice chancellor are delegated to them, and then our higher authorities, and how the Vice Chancellor is maintaining a relation with the higher authorities and with the lower authorities, and according to rules and regulations, according to the duties and responsibilities. So those are the things which make any organization efficient from the viewpoint of governance, management, and administration. The last thing, the seventh criteria of research and teaching quality is what is called institutional distinctiveness or institutional values. Institutional values. Institutional values. Institutional values, here we mean what are the distinctive characters of the organization, distinctive features of the organization. एक और phrase इस्तेमाल करते हैं, best practices of the institution. What are the best practices of the institution? Has the institution adopted certain villages, certain localities nearby where the benefits of this organization, this college or the university is also flowing to? For instance, there is NCC, there is NSS, National Services Scheme Group, NCC Group, and there are some natural calamities nearby. How the volunteers of the NSS of the university, NCC of the college, they are going and helping. And then there is the drive, for instance, the vaccination drive, for instance, the sanitation drive, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, different types of campaigns, different types of movements, different types of social awareness program. How? Because the villagers need to be motivated, need to be inspired. And when the students, young students who are beaming with energy, beaming with motivation, they go and visit the nearby localities, then they are enthralled, they are invigorated with fresh blood, with fresh enthusiasm to work for their betterment. So that is very important, and that is the institutional distinctiveness. Some of the institutions, some of the universities, they engage their students in production of some artistic commodities using the local resources. And then having a liaison with the local population, local villages, local people, how they can benefit from this art, and also going to villages, picking up their products of local resources, how they can be marketed at a larger scale. So the university is also finding opportunities for that. So that makes any institution distinctive. Best practices जिसे कहते हैं कि आपका कॉलेज में ऐसा क्या हो रहा है जो दूसरे में नहीं हो रहा है. What you are doing, what your university is doing, which other universities, other colleges are not doing. Now the last thing, what are the advantages if you excel as a research organization, if you excel as a teaching organization, then what are the advantages of this quality of teaching and research in your institution? Number one, it benefits the students and the society. Students and the society. Quality of education. And that benefiting the student and the society is the topmost contribution of the quality of education of that organization. Then it promotes and gives an opportunity for the professional growth of the teachers, for the professional growth of the students, teachers and the students. Research opportunities for teachers and students. Many of the organizations, when the teachers pass out of that organization, students pass out of the organization, they enroll for research. They are enrolled in big projects as research assistant or as research associate. So these are the advantages which flow immediately to the organization, to the students. And then there is one word which is called collegiality. Collegiality means the cooperation and the advantages which comes into a group. Collegiality. Collegiality is the advantage of very great organizations that have quality teaching and quality research. The interaction among teachers, the interaction among students, the the group discussion among students, and also